on 4. In Dubai, every day is an opportunity.
Welcome back to Cheltenham. Rathlin jumping the second last in the Supreme, but here comes Ruby on Alpha off before delivering that withering challenge.
And our coverage supplemented by the Sporting Bet blimp. Fantastic shots we're getting from there on this clear, sunny day, joining us here at Cheltenham. News on the beaten favourite Q card in the first race. I had a word with Joe Tizard. He said absolutely no excuses. I'm not going to make any up. He jumped really well. He travelled into the race just how I'd have wanted to. And at the end of the day, he was beaten. Well, now we're going to have a look at a man who's certainly hoping for a better festival than last year. Alan King has had so many good years here, and last year he drew a blank for the first time in 7 years. His horses were not right throughout the season, and it culminated in here.
Yeah, but happily they're in much better nick now, as I found when I went down to see Alan at his Barbary Castle yard. Alan, you're coming into Cheltenham with the horses in really good nick, but 12 months ago it was different, the horses weren't right. A fallow festival, what was it like to go through those 4 days, knowing that things perhaps weren't going your way?
Pretty disappointing. I mean, we had one big hope, I think, in the week, Ben Salem, and I mean, he might well have won, but unfortunately tipped up 2 out, and that sort of summed up the week. But a few of the horses ran pretty well, and I suppose we didn't expect a great week, and we got through it anyway.
And you're back firing on all cylinders, and obviously Medemy in the Arkle, he's really gone from strength to strength. People sort of, there was the old glitch early on, but he's really got his act together.
He has, yeah. And I mean, the Sandown looked the sort of, you know, the finished article. He travelled very well, jumped well, and right, he was probably hiding a little bit on the front, and, you know. But I mean, Captain Chris is no mug. But straight after that, both Chuck and I thought it was the ideal thing to drop him back and run him over 2 in the Arkle.
He's an absolute top-class novice, and he looks like being top-class over fences.
Yeah, he's bang up there. I mean, it looks, there's 3 or 4 pretty decent horses in the Arkle, but I wouldn't want to be swapping him.
You mentioned Ben Salem. Now, last year in the big handicap chase, this year the Stewart family spinal injuries race, I mean, he was going real well when he fell 2 out.
Looked that way. I mean, Chuck was delighted when we hadn't really asked him for anything, and typical second last, he got in a little bit tight and the landing gear didn't come out, but you know, he's had 2 runs over hurdles this winter and done plenty of schooling, so you know, I hope it's the right thing, and he's off the same mark as well.
And when did you think at the end of last year we'll preserve it and go back for that race?
No, I mean, really the plan was to get him ready for a Hennessy, but with his illness in the autumn, I mean, he's lucky to get back on the track this season.
He all but died, didn't he?
He did, yeah. I mean, he got travel sickness coming back over, and then within sort of 24, 48 hours, pneumonia and into pleurisy, and it was touch and go.
They had to take pints of liquid off his lungs.
So I believe, I mean, he was at the vets for the best part of a month, and yeah, he was a very sick horse, but it says a lot for him that he's bounced back.
On a rather sort of faster horse front, if I may say, Mill Chief has taken a lot of people's eyes this year. I mean, he just scraped home at Wincanton, but were you more pleased than the bare result suggested you should have been? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I was more pleased when the result was called, because I must admit, as they went past the post, I thought he was beat. But I think it'll do him good. It's the first proper battle he's had, and I was very pleased the way he knuckled down. And
you'd want some scrapping experience going into a champion, wouldn't you?
Oh, they need it, you know. You don't want to be waiting till the champion hurdle to do it. So he took it very well. I mean, he only really had a race from the last. He didn't have a hard race as such, but it was proper match practice. And I'm under no illusions. I mean, he's still got to improve a fair bit, but I'm looking forward to it.
Alan, it's our busiest, most pressurised 4 days. Do you actually manage to enjoy it?
Yeah, I think we do now. I mean, I'm pretty relaxed going into it, and as long as the horses come back in one piece, that'll be the main thing. It'd be great if we can have a winner on the first day. We can relax a bit more then. But yeah, you've got to look forward to it. And it's great to have as many going there with, you know, hopefully realistic chances.
Best of luck.
Thanks, Alistair.
With me now is Barry Geraghty, who rides Finnian's Rainbow in the Arkle. Now, this is a novice chase. Jumping is the name of the game.
Yeah, for sure. He has jumped well, although he missed a couple the last time work, but he jumped well in Newbury before that, so I'd be very hopeful.
Let's have a look at some of the fences that he jumped, and as you said, he didn't jump that well. He was a bit erratic. Is there any reason for this, Barry?
Well, we changed tactics and we dropped him in, and he got a little keen and probably just got out of his rhythm, really. And as I say, he jumped well in Newbury his previous 2 runs, so he's been out 3 times and he's won his 3 chases. So
It can't be bad. But have you schooled him since then, or has Yogi Breisner given him some help?
both, we've always been schooling him, and he jumped really well. Andrew Tinkler schooled him last week, and I'm told he jumped really well. I'd schooled him the week before that, and he was good. So he's done plenty. We can do no more, and you know, it's a 2-mile novice chase, so anything can happen.
How do you see it playing, though? I mean, is he going to take quite a hold, or can you settle him in?
Well, I'd say I'll just sit handy whether I make it, sit second or third. We'll just see how the race pans out, really.
And how do you see a chance?
Oh, he's a great chance. I'll be hoping McClear round he might take the beating.
Good luck.
Cheers, Tom. Thanks.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Andrew Tinkler had the ride on Finnian's Rainbow at Warwick, and they decided to hold him up. And he just made a couple of silly novice-y mistakes, but I think that they came around, Ted, from the point that he was always half running away and not really concentrating on what he was doing when he got to the front. And he had a couple of useful horses behind him. The one of Sue Smith is no slouch at all, and Kilmurray had been running well against Hales Angel at the start of the season. There's no doubt whatsoever that he's a really good horse, but I just think there is a question mark over his jumping.
And the trophy presentation of the Stan James Supreme. John and Lisa Hales coming up to pick up their trophy from Bijan Kesri, who is the chairman of Stan James and the man behind their great increase in race sponsorship, particularly here at the Cheltenham Festival. And from happy Haleses to I doubtless delighted and relieved Paul Nicholls, it's all about getting the first one on the board. There's so much pressure on this man in the run-up to the meeting, and that's just a huge weight off his shoulders. And you won't find a tougher pair of shoulders than that sported by this fellow. He has absolutely geared his life since last November to being back on this day, and he's won the opener.
A really hot contest, wasn't it? And what satisfaction that must be for Ruby Walsh, who's missed so much of the season through injury. What a comeback.
The Irish Independent Arkle Trophy is the championship race for 2-milers in the early stages of their chasing career. Always run at a searching pace, it's a speed test, but the youngsters have also got to jump, because mistakes equal defeat. Past winners who've risen to the very top over 2 miles include Flagship Uberales, Moscow Flyer and Azertion. And the last 2 finishes have been corkers, with For Paddy the Plasterer inching home in 2009 to the boundless joy of his almost certifiably enthusiastic owners, and last year Sizing Europe, another Irish raider who edged out Summersby.
So, the next race coming up, another Grade 1. It is the Irish Independent Arkle Challenge Trophy. 130 grand on offer. They've got 13 fences to negotiate. 10 novices go to post.
Well, 16 favourites and 79 runnings have won the Irish Independent Arkle, but only 3 in the last 25. A desperate recent record for the favourites, and Medamie, who was 7-2 Medamie with William Hill this morning, is now hell of a fear, 11-4 here on the course, the favourite. 7-2 and 4 Gazeo, now a 7-2 chance, with 9-2 from 5 Finnian's Rainbow. An interesting horse, of course, is this Dan Breen, a 16-1 chance, which he was this morning for Tom Scudamore. And David Pipe, and 15-2 Captain Chris. Female on the exchanges, Medamit, must be favourite. You must be able to beat 11-4 though.
Not by much, Mac, not by much, but also a positive is Nicky Henderson's Finnian's Rainbow. Buoyed by this second and third in the first race, I'm sure he's been backed in from 5s into 9-2, and he's the positive. Perhaps they're meaning that Gazeo is the one now that they want to take on. Captain Chris, another one that's been clipped in and very weak now from being backed all leading up to the days. Rock Noir drifting out and almost touching 20-1, but Menemy just a shade over that 11
And TH 8-1, Captain Chris at the top. TH.
Puts it on the table.
So Captain Chris heads the race card for this particular race, just being saddled at the minute. He'll be in any second, and he's a horse who got the go-ahead for this race only at the weekend. 1 or 2 question marks against his jumping and his basic pace for a race like this, but there's no doubt he's got plenty of natural ability, and if he can cut out the errors that he's made against the best of his generation, he's definitely good enough to make a bold show.
Yeah, some really quick horses here, and this is Dan Breen, who was a little bit unlucky. I mean, it was not an easy decision for the stewards at Sandown last time, and ran against Giorgio Quirkus of Nicky Henderson's, one or two Nicky's runners, and just came over, interfered with him. But he's been a decent horse. This is Finnian's Rainbow, who has had a couple of soft runs, it's got to be said. He hasn't run against too much. The time was okay at Warwick last time, and as I said, it wouldn't surprise me if Barry Geraghty let this horse bowl along and use himself. He's a really athletic horse. When he meets fences right and he's concentrating, really good jumper.
And Gazeo's done really well over fences so far. Beaten Captain Chris both times, giving him weight last time out. He seems relatively weak in the market, or was until recently.
Number 5 is Giorgio Quirk, as I was mentioned before, who ran at Sandown last time. He's unlucky, ran well at Plumpton early on, tipped up behind Tullamore, doing 1 or 2 useful horses there. He's got a chance, no doubt.
Medemy, Robert Thornton will be hoping they go a real good gallop like they did in our first race. His horse travels strongly, jumps really well. He probably doesn't want to be in front too soon, but if he puts everything together, he's going to be hard to beat.
And we have 7 is Realt Dubh, great looking horse. This fella travelled over really well. He's won 2 grade 1s at Leopardstown. He's won 4 of his 6 runs over fences. He's only maybe disappointing runs behind Jesse's Dream over 2.5 at Ferryhouse. Looks a picture and is sure to run a big race. Can't see him out of the money.
This is number 8. This is Rock Noir, whose form is not quite as good as some of these. He struggled behind Medemy at Sandown last time out, but the stable are coming back into better form at the moment.
Stagecoach Pearl, good tough front-running grey of Sue Smith's. Done really well this season, but was beaten decisively by Finnian's Rainbow at Warwick, and there's no obvious reason why he should reverse those placings.
And finally, let's have a look at West with the Wind. He'll be a big price, this, but he's a real grand type. I haven't seen him since the back end of last year. Paul Maloney will have his work cut out. Last time I saw him was at Foss last, and he was struggling to go the pace early on. The further he went, the better he was going. Actually won against some handicappers.
Well, I'm joined by a very happy Paul Nicholls. First of all, big congratulations with Alfarov. Great start.
It was a great start, and it was really good for Ruby because, you know, all of what he's been through to come back and ride a winner, you know, he'd be chuffed. So that was a real positive for him.
Yeah, and for you too, and all the team. And this horse looks fantastic, Gazeo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, I thought Alfarov looked really well, and you know, everyone's worked hard at home, obviously, to try and get them at the best. And a bit of luck and running, he's got a chance.
Absolutely. I mean, and he's got course form, hasn't he, here in November?
Yeah, he has, and you know, he jumps well on the whole, which you'll need to in this race because they're going to go quick. So yeah, it is an open race, and then, you know, novice chasing is all about jumping. So if we can be lucky, we've got a chance.
His jumping's been sound. What about this ground?
Oh, they'll be fine. I mean, just watching the heels of those horses that are coming, I would say the ground looked as though it was riding on the slow side, and he's got form on fast ground. He's got plenty of speed. He'll be all right.
His coat's come, absolutely, he looks spot on.
Well, we've tried to concentrate on getting all these horses here this week at their best. There's no point having them any other way, and you know, he does look good, so I'm very happy.
Okay, well listen, very best of luck. Could be a quick double.
Well, it'd be nice, but you know, 1 winner's great, anything's a bonus. All right.
Well, Medamit is still 11-4 favourite, has touched 3-1 Medamit, but really good support for number 3 Finnian's Rainbow. 5-1 with William Hill this morning, now a 4-1 chance Finnian's Rainbow. Gazelle fluctuating, 4 and 7-2, the easier of the three. Arden have won it 16 times, including the last 2. The sizing Europe and 4 Paddy the Plasterer. Realt Dubh is an 8-1 chance with the bookmakers, along with Captain Chris 8-1. That is price-wise his tip. Captain Chris at 8-1 now here on the course. Female on the exchanges is the support for Finnian's Rainbow.
Yes, certainly is. I said earlier, flagged up earlier, that perhaps it was because of the first race where he had the second and third Nicky Henderson. Poor old Philip Hobbs is going through a cold spell at the moment. The last 17 days he's had 31 runners, all been beaten. That's a negative for Captain Chris. But if you're a Rock Noir supporter, Tony McCoy, who rides him, has got a tremendous record in the Arkle since 1997. He's had 12 rides, and that's resulted in 3 winners, 2 seconds, and a third. So each way possibilities for Rock Noir. Despite that, he's drifting. The strong horse on the exchanges are Horses, Medamit, and Finnian's Rainbow.
And the extraordinary thing down here in the betting ring was the way the bookmakers were cheering a Walsh-Nichols winner, Alferov. How often do they do that?
Well, 10 runners here, and there won't be any hanging around, but of course the major change that's happened here since last year, they've moved the second last fence. It was, of course, the last one coming down the hill. They've moved it into the straight. We've now, like on the new course, which will be used for the last 2 days of this 4-day fixture, we now have 2 fences in the straight, and it's nice the fact that the ground isn't too quick, because they barely have time when they're coming round the bend into the straight and winging it to get themselves level and get themselves balanced as well. So it'll be interesting if the 3, 4, 5 turn for home, because instead of just having one fence to jump, we're nearly always the first horse over wins. It'll completely change the format and the way that the finish evolves.
Yeah, a fascinating and wide open Arkle. The 3 at the top of the betting, by no means bomb-proof. We'll see if we're going to have a surprise in the Arkle after the break.
How could Mylene have predicted that losing her pass to the races would help her find the best of Dubai?
We bet you love second chances. We bet no other bookie will give you this many second chances. Hell, we bet even your wife wouldn't give you this many second chances, but we will. Log on to boylesports.com, and with every second counts, we give you cash back if your horse finishes second in any of the first 4 races on day 1 at Cheltenham. Log on or call free today to get your second chances, and we'll also give you a free bet. boylesports.com. We bet.
And now, Granny, a rabbit.
Joint pain? Try Voltarol Emugel P. Because it concentrates in the joints and is as effective as 400 milligrams of oral ibuprofen, it treats the pain and inflammation and so helps to keep you moving. Voltarol Emugel P. Now with an easy open cap. Voltarol, the joy of movement.
Once upon a time, £20 only got you broadband. Now you can switch to super fast broadband, Sky TV with Sky Plus and calls, all for under £20. That's up to 20 meg broadband, award-winning and super fast, amazing Sky TV to suit the whole family, and unlimited evening and weekend calls. It's a fairy tale deal. Super fast up to 20 meg broadband, plus Sky TV, plus calls, all for under £20 a month. Switch to Sky now and our magical Sky Plus box is free. Visit sky.com/value or call 08442 410 121. Sky. Believe in better.
Hi.
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 Sorry.
Lily is walking away from fame to embark on dreams of opening a clothes shop.
I've got that passion for fashion. This is not the sort of money people have.
And a normal life.
I want to have kids and I want to get married.
The highs and the tragic lows.
That kind of thing changes a person.
Lily Allen, From Riches to Rags, starts tonight at 10 on 4.
In Dubai, every day is an opportunity.
Blue skies over Cheltenham and the Sporting Bet blimp flying high up there to help us bring the action to you. Very much drying weather, and they'll still be busy watering the course for the last 2 days of the meeting. That is where they start for the Arkle, the Irish Independent Arkle Challenge Trophy. And jumping is the name of the game. They go quick. Mistakes are just a nightmare in this race. And there's 3 fighting at the top of the market. Medabit, Finnian's Rainbow, Gizao, Captain Chris, Realt Dubh 8-1 chance, 14 JP's Rock Noir, 20's Dan Breen, 28 West with the Wind. And Realt Dubh took the eye of the lads in the paddock on the course. Gizao and Realt Dubh, second tick for Realt Dubh. In the ring, Captain Chris being backed and Finnian's Rainbow, but Gizao easy enough. And on the exchanges, Medabit. That's the one, Medabit.
Price-wise tip at 16-1, Captain Chris being backed here on the course. 9-1 this morning, 13-2 now. Finnian's Rainbow very strong at 7-2 from 5. Also Medamint 11-4 from 3. Easy Gizao at 4.
Medamint strong with me, also Finnian's Rainbow. Big negative for me, Rock Noir.
And this Arkle Challenge Trophy, sponsored by the Irish Independent. A good race for the Irish in recent years with Sizing Europe and for Paddy de Plastra. As they set off, Dan Breen and Stagecoach Opal, the first 2 to bound on from in the white jacket, Finnian's Rainbow. And then West with the Wind on the near side of Realt Dubh as they clear the first fence. Gizao jumped well at the first. Medami was a bit slow. Then Giorgio Quercus, Rock Noir and Captain Chris towards the outside in dark blue colours as they clear the second. And all safely over with Giorgio Quercus, the last to land there. And West with the Wind, just about the early leader from Dan Breen, Stagecoach Opal. There's Gizao in the blue, red and white spotted sleeves, worn by Timmy Murphy. Captain Chris on his outside, and they're tracked by the grey Medami. As Stagecoach Opal, the other grey, lands over the next fence in front. Rock Noir made a slight mistake. Dan Breen is second, and then Finnian's Rainbow in third on the outside. Gizao, then West with the Wind, Captain Chris, Realt Dubh, Medami, and the last 2, Rock Noir and Giorgio Quercus. So heading now towards the next fence, Stagecoach Opal from Dan Breen and Finnian's Rainbow. These 2, or these 3 I should say, landing over this plain fence. Then Captain Chris on the outside, a slow jump from West with the Wind there. Gizao is handily poised on the inside, about 5th at the moment as now they turn into the back straight. And running downhill towards the next plain fence, Stagecoach Opal, Dan Breen, Finnian's Rainbow. Good jump from Gizao up the inside of Captain Chris. Then Medami from Realt Dubh and Rock Noir, and towards the rear Giorgio Quercus and West with the Wind, both struggling to keep up as now they head towards the water jump. And Stagecoach Opal just the first to land, but Finnian's Rainbow very prominent today under Barry Geraghty in the white jacket on the outside. Dan Breen on the near side, and then a gap of 4 or 5 lengths to Gizao and Captain Chris. That was an open ditch, followed by Medami and then Realt Dubh. They're getting quite strung out behind. Rock Noir, Giorgio Quercus is being driven along, and West with the Wind almost tailing off. Finnian's Rainbow in front now, took that cleanly, lands about 3 lengths clear of Dan Breen. Gizao moving up quite stylishly into third. Then Captain Chris just niggled a bit from Stagecoach Opal as they run left-handed now towards the open ditch. This is 4 out there coming to in the Arkle, and Finnian's Rainbow comes to it, jumps it okay, had a mistake from Gizao there, hit that fairly hard on the outside of Captain Chris. They're disputing third. Dan Breen is still second, and then Realt Dubh getting a bit closer now for Ireland. Medami has made hard work of things so far, is being bustled along at this stage by Robert Thornton. as they now start the run downhill towards third last. Finnian Rainbow still leading to Dan Breen. Captain Chris on the inside of Giseo, still in touch despite that mistake. Medami is beginning to stay on, then Realt, Dubh and Giorgio Quirkus and Rock Noir. This is 3 out. Geraghty sees a stride on Finnian's Rainbow, who jumps it superbly well. Finnian's Rainbow leading the way and Geraghty's looking round. Dan Breen in second, Giseo under the whip. Then Captain Chris, Medami and Realt Dubh, and they're well away from anything else as they run towards the home turn, and Finnian's Rainbow galloping along smoothly in front. Giseo now trying to lay down a challenge in second place under Timmy Murphy, and Captain Chris is third but turning in. Finnian's Rainbow still going best. Medami's running on, Realt Dubh in behind Finnian's Rainbow. Captain Chris on the outside is staying on very strongly indeed, having come under pressure quite early, and joins Finnian's Rainbow at the last, and Finnian's Rainbow went through the top of it. Captain Chris on the near side of Finnian's Rainbow on the far side. They're pulling clear of the others. Captain Chris from Finnian's Rainbow and racing up towards the line. One for Philip Hobbs and Richard Johnson in the Diana Waitley colours, and Captain Chris wins the Arkle. In second place, Finnian's Rainbow. Realt Dubh just third ahead of Medami, and they were clear of Giseo, who made a bad mistake at a bad time. Then Giorgio Quirkus and Dan Breen and Rock Noir and Stagecoach Opal, and Captain Chris, who has steadily got his act together this season over fences. There were doubts about him on this left-handed course. He's tended to jump to the right, and in truth Richard Johnson was niggling away at him from some way out here, but again many Arkles have been won through stamina, and this horse has kept going best up the hill. Finnian's Rainbow looked to have the race won turning for home. He was certainly travelling best at that time, but Captain Chris's resolution in the closing stages has won this race in the hands of Richard Johnson. They were debating which race to run him in this week. They chose right. The Arkle was the right choice.
Oh, Richard, it was a late decision to run him in this, but he's got his act together today.
He has. To be fair, he's quite inexperienced. Only his first run of his life just over a year ago. And he's improved it all the time, and I think the better ground has definitely been a big help. But he's, he's such a trier as well. It's just lovely to have him to do with. And to be fair to the owners, Jason looked the easier race, but they let Philip run him in this, so that was great.
Well, it's been a bit tricky, hasn't it? Because he's kept finishing second, and at last you got that win at Kempton.
Yeah, and to be fair to me, he's done very little wrong. He's run every race he's run has been a very high-class race, so he's not really done much wrong in his life. But he obviously was getting a bit frustrating when he kept finishing second. But I say the good ground, it's beautiful ground out there, and the race course has done a really good job after such a bad winter to get it in such good condition.
And Manora, is it going to suit him?
We hope so.
Richard, well done.
Thank you very much.
Captain Chris, 9-1 with Stan James and Coral this morning, backed heavily on the course. A market mover in the betting ring returned the 6-1 clear fourth favourite, Captain Chris, and beats the other market mover, Finnian's Rainbow, who jumped superbly in front for Barry Geraghty, the 7-2 second favourite. Ireland's Realt Dubh was third at 17-2, and Medamit, the favourite, was 11-4 favourite, finished fourth. Only 3 favourites have won in the last 26 runnings. And price-wise, once again, they gave Alfarov at 25-1, Tom Segal. He gave this Captain Chris at 16-1. What a opening double that is for the man the bookmakers all fear price-wise. Never go to telephone tipsters with the price-wise.
Andrew. Well, with Philip Hobbs, Philip, you undenied what race this was going to run in. You picked the right one.
Well, we have now anyway, yeah. So it's big relief to have got one on the board as well.
You always believed hugely in this horse. I remember you rang me on the 2nd of January and said, don't give up on this Captain Chris. He's a real racehorse.
Absolutely, but, we've always felt he definitely wants 2.5 miles, and I'm sure he does too. But having said that, Richard's opinion was always he'd have enough pace for it. Mind you, I thought we were just pushing along a long way from home, but anyway, he kept going. So.
Well, that was him finding a bit quick, but he jumped today. That was a great thing.
He must have, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Little bit right-handed, you can always do that. So, no, he jumped really well.
And the latest on Manora, just a few minutes away?
The latest is he's got to the course, he's in one piece. And
so are you?
Happy. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, Manora's grand. Very good.
Best of luck and well done, Philip.
Thank you, Raj. Thanks.
Yeah, being really modest, Philip Hobbs has got a great record at A training, and particularly here at the festival. Does well with the horses that he's got, and done well with this horse because everybody put him in their notebooks when he won an early race at Kempton last year. He looked the part, but for one reason or other, just kept finding one too good. But as Philip said, they were good horses, the likes of Gazao and Medamit. Then he finally got a bit of confidence at Kempton last time out, where he jumped okay, but that was only all he did. But today, he never missed a beat. Finnian's Rainbow was given a fine ride by Barry Geraghty. I thought the jump that he got out of him, jump in the third last, was good enough to win it because it got him back onto the bridle. And let's just have a look here. I mean, if you stop the race here, which horse is going to win? Well, it's the one in front. But if he's got nothing else, this Captain Chris, I think he had a wind operation. Really good jump there at the second land. You wouldn't believe, boys, would you, how a race can change in a matter of 50 yards.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just those last two fences are pretty close together. To remind me of Galway, bloody think there's only 30 or 40 strides between, but the winner keeps galloping all the way to the line. He's bred by a first cousin of mine, Tom and Noreen Walsh, who won the Corner House pub in Kildare, so there's plenty of celebrations there. And the second was bred by Jim Keefe, so the Irish lads mightn't have anything to shout about, but the breeders will be happy. You remember the mare, the damn Function Dream,
Mary Reevely, yes, yeah. She's a real good mare for her.
Had a good day for price-wise. Tom Segal tipped the first two winners, so that'll make the meeting a little bit easier for him. And it's funny, you spend hours and hours looking through the form, and you say, how can Captain Chris finish in front of the horse we're seeing there, Gazao? How can he finish in front of Medamit?
He had one up at the top, didn't he? I mean, he landed his out backside.
Yeah, and Medamit, I mean, he was given every chance by Chock. He was never travelling. He came past the stands first time, and he was struggling to go.
This is a great looking horse, Jim. He's a smashing looking horse.
The mare was a powerful mare, wasn't she?
She was a big, powerful mare too, Function Dream. Used to be trained in Ireland by John Joe Welch, and then Mary Reevely had won a lot of great races. Alan Ross might have won a good 2-mile chase on her at Sandown or somewhere. She won that Castleford chase.
She won at Ascot as well.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
But anyway, what the Whateleys bought some expensive purchases. They deserve their time in the sun. They had a great day with Minora. He's still to run this afternoon. They had a great day last year with him, and a great day this afternoon too.
I must say, Ed Murphy must be delighted. He buys a great, good-looking horse. He bought these horses well for these people. It's a great partnership, Richard Johnson and Philip Hobbs, aren't they?
Been going for a long time now.
Unassuming as well too.
Yeah, Dickie Johnson got a right tune out of this Captain Chris. He had one of those sort of minor wind ops early in the season. Philip Hobbs reckons they're about 60% successful. He's never run a bad race. He may have had a lot of twos, but there was no suggestion that he wasn't putting it all in. But he's got it all together